Some students come to Zoom classes with their cameras off, and that can be an issue. I wanted to talk briefly about why it's an issue and how BLC teachers can comfortably ask students to turn their cameras on, when and whether to make exceptions, and what to do if a student just doesn't turn their camera on.
My students said they feel very disrespected as students when they're in a class where a lot of students are having the camera off a lot.
I start out the year, I show students, this was in level 1, but I'll do the same thing. I'm teaching level 4 this year also, showing my students a whole screen, a picture of a whole screen where it just says student, 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 and no humans, with a big sad face next to it. Do you want to be in this class? Or, and then another picture where you can see, when you can see people. We are a community, and it's hard to be a community with a black screen. But also as teachers, we need to, especially on Zoom, we need to grab onto any clue that we have: a student's body position, their eyes, their mouth, what they're doing, certainly for pronunciation. And we can't do that. We can't make a connection with a student and really understand how they're doing in class without their cameras on. And I think if we can convey that to students, you will learn more with your camera on, because we can talk. I used to be a little more timid about asking students to turn it on, and there was really no reason for that. Last year, I really started being more upfront. Can you please turn your camera on? And with a couple of exceptions, students who had, like this nursing mother I mentioned, and one whose camera didn't work when she used her computer or whatever it was, students said, okay. I mean, they just often they just don't realize it's an issue. And if we don't ask, they won't do it.
And it's viral. If I find that if one student turns their camera off, then more will turn their camera off.
Oh, you are so right about that, Amy.
Yeah. I also say, I need to see your mouth. You know, at the intro level, I have to see, are they making or n? Are they making or I have to see it.
Yep. And at the advanced level, I'm like, I have to see your confusion, because you're not
Yes.
me, you're confused. I
Yeah.
have to see you. And then I really emphasize that much of communication is body language. So you need to see people's hands moving around, their heads nodding, all of that.
You know, if somebody is really hesitant about sharing their camera, I'll say, at least in breakout sessions, in our breakout groups, they have to have it on, because those are smaller groups. I can do single gender if necessary.
Sorry.
Also, I showed one student how to blur his background, because he was embarrassed about his background, that he was doing it from a bunk bed.
Okay.
One thing my students told me they turn the camera off for, that I did not know until they told me, is when they're struggling to process something that was said in class. I didn't know why they were winking out and then coming back after like 2 minutes, but that's when they're processing. The shyer people like to do that off camera. I don't like it because I can't see their confusion,
Right.
but I have to respect that they need that. So that's a valid reason in my class to go off camera temporarily.
It's visibility of the woman by strangers, visibility of the woman by unknown men. It's a protection and modesty issue.
So I do have Muslims in my class, and I make sure that they know that nobody in my household can see them when they are on camera. I have my whole Zoom set up for their privacy.
One thing I had to discover was you can turn a student's camera off. So I had a student that was nursing and a mixed gender class of Muslim and non-Muslim people, and I turned her camera off. I think she just wasn't aware that it could be concerning for other students. So
yeah,
we cannot turn a student's camera on, though. We can request that they turn it on, but yeah.
Yes.
Same thing with their mic.
I just always say, we would like to see you. Can you please turn your camera on? And they get tired of me asking and they turn it on, but